there's a moral imperative around talking about racism. People are dying because white people aren't having conversations about racism.
As Americans think more critically about what it means to be anti-racist, a lot of people are realizing that journey starts at home by having conversations with your family. And some have started doing that, but it's not exactly an easy conversation to have.
How can I approach my parents when it comes to things about racism without feeling like I am annoying them or in a way that gets them excited and wanting to learn more about it rather than just getting like the, oh, not again?
Today's episode is about how to confront racist family members. I'm Nicole Ellis, and this is The New Normal. Before you can have a productive conversation about how someone else is racist, you've got to come to terms with the fact that you might be racist too, or at the very least, that you benefit from racism.
The problem of racism is the problem of white people. It's created by white people. It's perpetuated by white people. It benefits white people. We don't even know what being white is or how we came to be white. Like, we understand so little because we aren't meant to understand. That's how the system perpetuates itself, because it exists in silence, it's wrapped in silence, and we learn not to question it.
In the US, we're all taught that white men are the protagonists of American history. Being an anti-racist means questioning that narrative and thinking more critically about how that informs the cultural and systemic biases that you benefit from as a white person.
The more you can approach a conversation like this from your own stance as a learner, that's going to be helpful, because, get it straight, you are still learning if you're white.
It's also really important to be honest with yourself about your own motivations for having these conversations.
What are you trying to get out of this conversation? Is it that you enjoy having a thing or two to tell to your parents? Those are all very human temptations that we've all indulged in from time to time. Clear that up with yourself. Then you can start to be more strategic with regard to tips for talking about racism, tips for having conversations with people about almost anything.
Why is it white people's duty to stay committed to having these conversations and not decide that it's just too hard to talk about?
I see some white people, on Facebook saying, I've unfriended all of my racist relatives. And I think, oh my gosh, what opportunity you have with your white privilege to actually be able to reach out to family members and to have these conversations with white people. And that's a privilege that people of color don't have in that same way.
Part of leveraging your privilege as an anti-racist is talking to white people who disagree with you.
It is not up to Black people to educate everybody. It should not be. And so this is a place where white people can really take on those efforts on themselves.
Tanya Israel is the author of Beyond Your Bubble, where she coaches people on how to have conversations about polarizing issues.
The first important thing is listening, and what we call listening to understand rather than listening to respond. And so really being curious and trying to know where somebody's coming from. Because if you want to maintain that family connection, that's going to be important.
How do you have these kinds of conversations with family members, particularly when you know that they're going to disagree with you?
Nobody likes to be lectured, including you yourself, who's getting ready to facilitate the conversation. So the more you can ask open-ended questions that invite conversation rather than coming in to sort of pontificate and speechify and tell them a thing or two.
We can get evangelical about things that we've just embraced and we're really excited about and energized by and upset about and angry about. So I think it's really helpful to express that somewhere, but not necessarily to express that with the people who we're hoping we can move to shift their views.
What is the benefit of being vulnerable in this kind of conversation with somebody who's racist?
We all have grown up in a racist society. There are a lot of people who 2 months ago were kind of in the same place their parents are. So I think it's helpful to talk about that process, to talk about their own journey of how they've come to see things and how their views may have shifted and how questions have come up for them, rather than just using the statistics or the slogans.
Your kids, they'll inherit this world just like it is. If we aren't honest with each other about what's happening and what it's done to us and what we need to do together to move past it.
In the next episode, we'll talk about why it's important for non-Black people of color to start having these conversations too. So stay tuned. For more stories like this one, subscribe to The Washington Post on YouTube.